What up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Hollywood, and I am tapped in right now with the man, the myth, the legend, the great one, Mr. DJ Nate the Great, man.
Hello. Thank
What up,
you.
man?
What up? How you doing?
I can't complain, man.
Yeah.
Can't complain. How you doing?
I'm doing lovely. Thank you.
2 years later, past the pandemic, whatever they call it.
The panoramic.
whatever they want to call it. 2 years past it, man, and yeah, man, it's been a good summer.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, it's been a great summer.
Great summer, busy summer for us DJs.
Yeah,
We're all getting back to work after a couple slow years.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man. So I want to bring a lot of the DJs into this podcast or this conversation where a lot of DJs are behind the scenes and we really don't get to talk about our DJ culture and our DJ lives as much, or even us beyond being DJs. We don't get to really talk about that. So wanted to start this podcast. It's called Off the Record, pun intended. If you get it, you get it. Oh, okay.
Listen.
Okay. And yeah, man. So wanted to start it off with some legends, man. Some people who are people call them OGs, but people who are seasoned in the game.
I like that. Seasoned.
Yes.
I'm well seasoned.
Yes. Who've been doing it for a while, man. And yeah. Now we have Nate the Great, man. So how did you get Nate the Great, first and foremost? Where did the DJ name come from?
Oh, that's funny. Because when I was in high school,
yep,
I ran through a bunch of DJ names until something stuck.
Uh-huh.
So I was DJ Stronghold at one point.
Stronghold?
Because I held the record strong. At one point, I was DJ Band-Aid.
DJ Band-Aid?
Because I had the cuts covered.
Oh, wow. You were thinking about these too. Nah, that is actually...
Yeah, I think too hard sometimes. Definitely.
That is hilarious.
And, but honestly, my buddy, my high school buddy, my buddy from Hackett Middle School and Albany High School, Yogi, just kept calling me Nate the Great. And it stuck. And it was easy. And I could just be Nate, like my first name.
You could be you and be
and my DJ name. So, no confusion.
Nah, that's
just
dope.
Like, you're Nate, Nate the Great.
So are you from the 518?
Yes. Albany.
Nice.
Yeah, born and raised.
Nice. So where now it goes to this. So where did you find music? Where did that passion come from with you turning into Nate the Great?
That's
the DJ.
Yeah, I would say that even from a young age, something about DJing just kind of resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being at this birthday party. I was like 9 or 10 years old. And it was like in one of those old clubs, like, it wasn't like Guptill's, but it was like one of the old clubs.
Right.
And I was at this birthday party and I hear the DJ scratch. And I'm not sure I knew what it was at that point in time. Right. But I was like, he did something.
That sounds cool.
Yep. And I went up. I was like, just to talk to him and ask him what he did. And he let me scratch.
Oh,
this DJ let me scratch. I mean, it was a birthday party at like 2:00 in the afternoon, and I was 9. Yeah. You don't say to a 9-year-old, "No, you can't scratch."
I mean, you'd be surprised, but very, very true.
But yeah, he let me scratch, and that set it off. Then I'm on my parents' record player trying to scratch, and
how did they feel about that? Because I know scratching on a record player was not.
Yeah, they tolerated it.
Oh, okay.
They didn't. It's not like they were listening to records all the time at that point.
Okay.
It was my records I was scratching on. I was scratching on Michael Jackson Thriller. I was scratching on Def Leppard, Pyromania. These are the on my parents' record player.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't until middle school where I was like, no, buying my own stuff, get my own turntables.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's the early self-investment right there.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I shoveled some snows and mowed some lawns until I had enough to buy a couple Technique 1200s and probably a Radio Shack mixer at that point.
So, was music the only interest back then, or were you like sports or
I mean, I always liked kid stuff. I always liked basketball. I was never good. I was never like an athlete.
I was gonna say you got some game.
I did 20 years ago.
Oh.
I had enough game to like play pickup 20 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I was never an athlete, but I always played pickup basketball like all the way through my youth into my 30s, probably maybe into my early 40s. And yeah, and you know, football, street football, you know, that's the extent of my sports.
You was outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess if you can call it that.
So now who was the person? So now you get the inspo from this random DJ at the club, lets you scratch, which is probably major. He probably has no idea the effect he had on Nate the Great's
He probably
life.
doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully you might not be the only kid he ever let, you know, touch his, or you might be the only person and you ended up Nate the Great.
Right. What if he had been a total prick to me?
Right.
You know what
Crazy,
I mean?
right? How that story would have panned out.
Yeah.
So who taught you now? Where did that, you know, you mastering your craft, where did that come from?
Yeah, you know, a lot of it was like listening and repeating. So like I was like listening to hip hop radio and the DJs on hip hop radio in Albany and New York City. Rest in peace, Slam and Shannon, who just passed away.
Rest in peace.
I would listen to his show and DJ Royal Crush, DJ Swift, Young Wise, DJ Mercury. There was just a ton of DJs around here back then that I was listening to and just trying to emulate. I was listening to DJs on Records. I was listening to DJ Cash Money. I was listening to DJ Marley Marl on WBLS New York City and what he was doing. And he was really a tremendous inspiration in terms of style and what he was doing. I mean, I would listen to Jazzy Jeff. I would listen to DJ Miz, like all these guys. And just try to do what they were doing, try to emulate the scratches. Maybe every once in a while a buddy would come over and show me a thing or two. And yeah. And
the craziest part is we're in a very visual world now. So like, you know, literally 25 years ago, there wasn't a YouTube where you can see the technique happening in real time. Like you said, you had to like listen to and then repeat. So it's just crazy how far you know music has come. Yeah. But we'll tap into that a little bit more. So do you remember your first gig?
Yeah. Jeez, where do I even start? I remember a gig in high school. It was my buddy at the time, Cass, threw a party at his house. And I remember bringing my stuff over there and just DJing at that house party. And I must have been in high school or something. That must have been my first gig. I can't remember anything before that.
How did it go?
I mean, fine. It was a house party, and like I was there with my friends.
Were people hyping you up like, "Go Nate"?
Probably.
Go Nate. Go Band-Aid. Go Band-Aid.
Yeah. I know.
So now with you, you know, now building up this rep as a DJ. Now let's talk about the importance of branding and building up this rep as you know as you go. So from there, where was the transcend from you going to DJing that first gig house party to now you're, you know, doing a whole bunch of different gigs within a weekend, you know? So where did that transcend for you? Where you know, did you put the practice in? Did you know you get multiple opportunities? Where did all that, you know, happen for you?
Yeah, well, we got a 30-year history, right? And so it's not like I went from a house party in high school to where I am now, right? I've kind of gone through different phases of my career.
Okay.
I was doing mixtapes mostly in high school. To college down in I went to college down in Hempstead, Long Island, at Hofstra University, and I was on the radio there, and I was DJing with like Johnny Juice and Spinbad and just Slinky and so many DJs down there. And R.I.P. Jeff Foss, who ran that show. So I had a long career in radio, essentially, in college radio. So a lot of my time was doing that. It wasn't until like maybe the mid-2000s that I really started doing parties.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like started being out at the club. And everything changed.
Yeah. So what was that difference, obviously, from just being on air is, you know, you talking and people listening, but now you spinning and people, you know, you having to entertain people? What was
Exactly.
that direct difference from you beyond, you know, that? Or what was the experience like?
I'm still trying to recover from the trauma of that of that transition. Like, yeah, it was a total different world because, you know, I'm on the radio, I'm playing underground hip hop, or whatever, you know, I'm playing just hip hop, I'm playing the records that I like, and it doesn't matter. Nobody's in front of my face to tell me you suck or play something that I want to hear.
True. Play Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so getting in front of people was a game changer. And it took me a long time to try to really wrap my head around it. And I'm not sure I even have at this point.
Yeah.
It's a total different game because I'm a complete nerd. Like, I'll just geek out. I just want to cut and scratch and play music that I like.
Right.
But when you're in front of people, it turns into a game of entertaining the people.
Correct.
And hosting the people and making sure they get what they need, not just what you need.
Yeah, it can't just be for self at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's really the challenge. That's been my big challenge.
Do you have pre-DJ set routines?
These days I do. Because when you're at the bar or the nightclub, right, them bathrooms get nasty real quick.
Yes, very
I'm not
true.
trying to use the bathroom at the club at 1 a.m., right? So I have my hydration regulation.
Oh, so you hydrate in the day?
I hydrate during the day, and then I stop with the water. No caffeine, no water after like maybe 5 p.m. or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm done. And then when I get to the club, you know, make sure I empty out, make sure I'm nice and empty, and then boom, a seltzer's okay, a sip here and there, but that's it, man. I just don't want to have to go to the bathroom at the club.
It's very, very. I feel like a lot of people don't even talk about, like, there's DJs who have bathroom break folders.
Oh yeah.
Because it gets that crazy where you'll play like I don't even like a Bohemian Rhapsody where it's like 7, 8, 9 minutes where you're like, all right, I can get there. I might be able to wait online, negotiate with someone to skip them, and get back and still have like a verse left. Like, and but in a club that's completely different. So I definitely get what you're saying with that.
Man. It's like if you're doing a 2-hour set, a 1-hour set, who cares? But when you're going to be there for 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours sometimes,
6 hours,
it's like, I got to handle business, and I got to make sure that I don't have to handle business again afterwards. Or
for sure.
during. You know what I mean?
So now, do you remember one of your worst gigs or like your worst DJ scare?
So I got a good one. I was playing like some kind of SUNY show with PJ Katz, and I can't forget who else was in that show. And I just bought new CD players, Newmark CD players. This was like the equipment transition phase, step 1, where DJs were transitioning from vinyl to CD. Had these CD players, were on stage. Whoever's performing is bouncing around, and my CDs are skipping like crazy. I'm playing the backing track, the CD's skipping like crazy, and this is one of the biggest shows I've ever done. It's like a huge show in the middle of Pearl Street in front of like the arena, and imagine like a jam-packed street in front of you, and my joint's like skipping, and the dude can't rap because my joint's skipping. And
what'd you do?
I
started
think
beatboxing like Dougie Fresh.
You know what I did? It was that's what you got to do sometimes, man. I think I had another like super whack like CD player like your parents might have had like in their stereo system, and I just played off of that. I couldn't even DJ with those things, and I never bought another Newmark product again.
Oh, off of
Shots fired. Sorry,
Newmark. You got to do better.
Sorry, do better. Yeah.
I mean, it's a job and it's professionalism with it. So
yeah.
You know, I want to say leave a bad taste in your mouth. There's no going back.
It was tough. It was a tough one. Whew.
That is definitely a big scare. So even with you speaking on the advancement of CDs and vinyl, I don't want to go past that because you would you consider yourself a turntablist?
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I would say that I've been more focused on actual turntablism in the past. But yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you fully appreciate being able to not have to lug around your crates and having all your music, having all your music just on your hard drive or on your laptop or whatever? Like, will you speak on even just that experience for you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lighter load is better than a heavier load.
For sure.
Yeah, we used to carry around crates and crates of records.
Mm-hmm.
And
how many crates?
Yo, you would have to at 5 is the minimum.
Ooh.
5 like that long. You know, it's minimum.
Hold on, how much record per crate?
Yeah, like 100 records per crate or something like that. You know, you're carrying around 500 records or something. You know, because you need your options.
Yeah, you need your options. That is crazy.
But yeah, so it's like, man, I don't miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the speakers.
Right.
You know,
plus the speakers.
Plus the speakers. Plus 2 turntables.
So did you have was that the culture back then to even just make sure you have a posse and like people are mobbing with you to the parties? You got your crate boy. Like,
oh yeah, totally. Yeah, back then it was me and my buddy Jason. We were doing parties at like Peabody's and Michael's and whatever the college bars were back then. Yeah, and it was us two, and maybe we'd have somebody else bring the speakers for us because you know. He had a big one of those big old 80s Lincolns.
Yeah.
But like.
Couldn't hold all the stuff in it.
It held a lot of the stuff, but we
wow.
needed to carry like the bass bottoms in a separate vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the subs. So yeah, there's a lot of transport involved.
Yeah. What do you currently spin on?
Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm using those Rain joints, the Rain 12s, honestly.
Okay.
True gave me a pair of Rain 12s. DJ True Master gave me a pair of Rain 12s to use.
True.
Shout out to True Master.
Facts.
And yeah, I've been using those lately. But you know, Technique 1200s also a staple in my collection. I'm trying to figure out where to go from here, though.
Okay,
yeah.
I hear it. I hear it. So now you put in the questions you wanted me to ask you about celebrity versus hospitality versus community.
Yes.
Elaborate.
Okay. This is something I've been trying to work out in my brain, right? Us DJs, we're dealing with different contexts, right? These are different contexts that we might be DJing within, right?
Yeah.
So you might have a celebrity DJ like, I don't know, a David Guetta. You know, who are these huge DJs that are getting $100,000 a gig at these EDM shows, right?
Yep.
And there's a certain celebrity status. People came to see you, to see what you do and what you have to offer and for your show. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna say nothing to him like, "Yo, play whatever."
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
He can
do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. He's on a stage, and this is the context he's working in, right? However, when you're in a bar, when you're in a nightclub, this is a different context, right? Right now, you're in like a hospitality service, right? Yeah. And people perceive you as that, and so they're going to come up to you and they think you're there to serve them, and you know you are, right? To an extent, yeah. You are, but it's a very different thing because now all of a sudden they're like, oh, you know, that's when requests come in, and you're not respected. By many as an artist, you're just seen as a staff member who is there to give them a worker who's there to you know give them a party,
an entertainer,
right? You know, and then you know, community is kind of a third context that I came up with where you know you're not in like a bar or a restaurant. You're out there in the community. You're doing a community event like you do. Shout out to DJ Hollywood for the stop. What do you more music, less violence. More music, less violence. Yeah. You know, an event like that. People aren't going to come up to you and
the respect level is different.
Right, the respect level is different. You know, you're doing you're doing an event for the community, right? So these are the different contexts that kind of dictate what you need to do as a DJ, and also how you're going to be treated as a DJ.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
So that's that. That's those things.
So on that note, does Nate the Great take requests?
You know, I used to hate. This is part of me evolving from a radio DJ.
Requests?
I used to hate requests because I used to take them personally. I used to be like, if you're requesting a song, you're telling me that I suck or that I'm doing something wrong, right? And a lot of times people would make you feel that way. People will come up to you and be like, would you play something I can dance to?
Right.
Or
there's 1,000 people dancing behind them.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Exactly. You know, or people will kind of shame. They'll try to figure out how to shame you and manipulate into getting what they want.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so that's part of what I've had to deal with. And so I always used to hate requests, and I used to have to roll my eyes and figure it out. But I think that as I've grown into things, there are some times when I actually want requests. Like right now, I'm in this new thing at the Night Owl, and I'm playing upstairs in the gallery, and we're playing. I'm playing house and EDM up there.
House music, yeah.
And this is new to me, right?
Correct.
So this past weekend, I had this one like party of people just keep coming up to me and giving me requests.
Was it sensible requests?
Yes, they were on genre.
Nice.
They were polite, reasonably polite. And you know what? I was like, cool, because I really don't know this genre very well anyway. And why should I stand up here acting like I know everything when y'all know what you want to hear? So tell me, I'll learn something from you today. You know? And so, you know, I kind of I'm finding a new relationship with requests.
Right,
you know?
okay.
If I can just ease into it, it makes life...
I do recall the one time we were upstairs and the girl wanted Dancing Queen, and I had to basically like alleviate the moment for you, and I was like, listen, come over here with me.
Yeah.
He's not going to play it because it's all house music up here. So, and she was actually pissed. She wouldn't shut up. You know, she was actually pissed. Yeah, she was actually pissed.
That happens all the time. It's like people can't really. They have a hard time taking no. A lot of people do, or taking no as an answer.
It's the entitlement for me.
Yeah, total entitlement.
Total entitlement. And not even entitlement. And I mean, we could tap in a little bit with tip culture, because you know we are doing a service, and you know it definitely helps if somebody's like, hey, like, listen, yo, I got $5 if you could play this at some point within the next 20 minutes. Yeah. People are like, no, here's $1, play this song next. Or not even say anything and mention tipping you. Yeah. And it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's definitely a sense of entitlement at an all-time high.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And there's a difference. You can tell there are some very nice people that come up to you and ask for songs, and they're very polite, and I always appreciate that. They're always like, yes, if you get a chance, please, I'd really like to hear, thank you very much. Right. And then they don't talk to you again, right? But there's some people that just like, you know, they're entitled.
You play one song, they're like, actually, that worked. I'm gonna spin the block. Can you play this one actually? Can you play this one? And after that, play this one right here. I think they sound good together. Yeah. But what I can appreciate is people who have the same, who are within the same, just like you said, within the same. Okay, this is within the BPM. Right. This is a good flow. Yeah. You know, like that's a great request. I might actually play that next. Yeah. Because that was so good. Yeah. So
some people have an ear and they don't even realize it.
No, for sure.
I mean, it's rare that someone comes up to you like that. But sometimes people have an ear and you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, you might be like a dancer. Are you sure you're not a DJ too? Like, so